Guys, this is our practice pyramid over here. If this step is a little too big, you just continue on and there's no step. Continue on a little more, guys. This is our only activity in the sun. I want to get everybody up top of this place so we can have a really good view of the whole city of Mayapan. You don't have to use a guanacel over here. There are some paintings that are about 850 years old that have marine animals on them. Or anime Mayan dragons. Now this gives you guys a really good view of the city of Mayapan over here. To the left, to the right, I'm going to explain what the different buildings are. But one thing that we really have to know is that when was this place built? About the year 1000 AD, and it was abandoned in about the year 1464, the 15th century AD. These are the famous feasting halls of Mayapan over here. They are owned by aristocratic, noble families, and they did feasting here, hence the feasting halls. What do you guys do in feasting? Eat, drink, be merry, things like that. Now, during the 13th century, around 1264, Mayapan attacked with another city called Izamal. They attacked the capital city of Chichen Itza, destroyed it, massacred the nobles, burnt it to the ground, for it to be never repopulated again. And they invited all their allies to have a big party, a big celebration over here on these feasting halls there, and over there, and over there. And what do the people of Mayapan do? Kill them. They killed their own allies that day, thus controlling all the territory from here, the Cozumel, all the way to the coast. Now the other buildings you see over there that's a very small temple, a religious temple that has an entrance to the south, that's south over there. That round building is super important. It is the observatory. It's also an astrophysical reference point building. The sun shines during different times of the years, the equinox, solstice, and will mark it by ways of shadows and plays of light inside the building. Now you have these little small buildings all around. These are called the adoratories. There's like a little square on top there, so stelas would be on there. And it would have political figures or gods of different types. Now that big pyramid over there is the pyramid of Kukulkan, the feathered serpent god who flies in the cosmos and drinks rivers of blood. And the staircase that we're going to use is the one towards the right that is not visible from this point over here. Now, that little building in the way is the Temple of the Warriors. You can see a little head of a snake of Kukulkan. And over there we have the Temple of the Frescoes. That building and that one over there are two that you can go inside. And I do recommend it. It's really, really cool. That medium pyramid that we have over there is the crematorium. The name is self-explanatory. They cremated stuff in a central chute that you can see if you climb that one over there. Now this one over here is a fisherman's temple because it has marine animals painted on that little platform in there. And a little hint, guys, later on, if you want to go over there, you see those little two huts there? Those little huts over there are like where the archaeologists leave all the carved stones and statues. So if you don't touch the plants a lot and you have somewhere to get in there, go and check it out. There's a really cool truck.
How many people live here?
About 12,000 people, and I'll explain a little bit about that when we get to the shade. Warming up a little?
From Arizona.
Guys, when you're exploring Mayapan, there's going to be a lot of these thatch huts. Always take a peek inside because there's always a little surprise for you guys. Stucco, statues, paintings. Underneath the pyramid of Kukulkan, on this side, under that tree, there are murals. There's paintings, and you can still see like the feet of the warriors in a ceremony that has to do with the planet Venus. You're also going to see lots of little spaces like these. These are like household god niches where they would put like an incense burner there, nice and smelly, you know, the thick smoke. And they would put a figure in front. And the only thing that's remaining of that figure right now is a foot. Alright guys, follow me. That's ancient Mayan pottery.
Oh, cool.
There's paint on it still.
Wow.
You can come over here, guys. Under this shade. So, does anybody have any questions? We're a smaller group now, so if you're looking at something, if you're wondering something, ask away, guys.
I was wondering what the stones were joined together with.
Ah, that's a really good question. Now, what you're seeing over here is restoration work that was done in like the 80s and 90s. So it was done with concrete, and that's like a very bad thing. You're not supposed to do that. That's one of the reasons why they let us still climb on the ruins right now, because basically the damage has been done. But originally, what they would use and what the archaeologists use right now for restoration is lime, like the construction material, and water. That's it. You guys know what marl is? Marl is like a very brittle type of limestone that we get from mines over here in Yucatan called sascaberas. Like cenotes, but they're not deep enough. So a lot of humidity goes in there and degrades the limestone, so it's like rock dust. You guys use that? And that they would mix that, and they would make the stucco to, like the mortar, to put the stones together. Any other questions, guys? Well, Mayapan basically is a walled city that's 3.5 square miles. And this is the downtown area of the city. There's more than 3,000 buildings inside the walls. The walls are like 2 miles that way in the jungle and on the other side of the highway. If you want to see what the city looked like when they mapped it in 1949, did you guys see the little ticket booth there in the entrance? The guys are really nice. Ask if you can just take a picture. It's hanging on the wall. It's really cool. You can kind of find it on the internet, but not really. So 12,000 people were living here. This is a downtown kind of ceremonial administrative area. And where do the normal people live? They live in family complexes. Like the whole extended family is going to live like in an area, like clans. And they're going to have like a little open plaza and buildings all around it. And those are going to be the different families. Now if you guys get a little closer over here, you see this carved stone? It's half is missing. But do you guys know what that is?
Grinder.
Yeah, that is a metate. And that's what the Mayas are going to use to grind corn. After you grind the corn, what are you going to get? What's it called in Spanish? Masa. Yeah, you're going to get masa. That's an interesting thing you said, to make tortillas. It's the most logical answer, but tortillas is a colonial invention. When the Spanish arrived, they're like, hello Mayas, you know, make us some bread. You have some dough there. And the Mayas are like, what's bread? But most of the Spaniards who came to this area of Mexico were from southern Spain. So they're used to eating like unleavened flatbreads. You guys ever been to an Indian restaurant? Like naan bread? That kind, but with wheat. Now you make it with corn. What do you get? A tortilla. What they're actually going to make is tamales. You guys like tamales? And they're going to fill it with all sorts of goodies. The Mayas did not have any domesticated animals except dogs. So all their meat is going to be hunted. And some dogs once in a while. Oops. White-tailed deer, wild turkeys, iguanas, birds, bush pigs, you know, all sorts of different animals that live in the jungle here. And their agriculture is going to be slash and burn. So they're going to set fire to the jungle. And because you notice the topsoil? It's very poor. It's laja, it's stone. So the corn, I've seen corn grow out of a crack in a rock. But it's going to be able to grow because of the ash. You know, all the good stuff that the ash has, it's going to help the plants grow. But you can only grow it for 2 years. After 2 years, you have to let it grow for another 25 years until you burn it down again. So, scarification, they did, when the babies were born, they would put the head against the wooden board, tie it with the strap really tight so it became a cone head, or elongated at the back. They could put the boards like this, or like this, or like this. Then they would tie like a little string with the bead in front of their eyes so they become cross-eyed. They would have full body tattoos. They would modify their dental structure, file it down to like to look all scary and feral. They would also do artistic designs in the teeth. They would put jade, jadeite, serpentine, obsidian, red coral inside the teeth. You know, they would do all sorts of crazy stuff. They would put, what do you call the ear things?
Gauges.
The gauges. The first thing I ever found made out of jade in a project was actually a superficial find. It was a jade gauge that went into the ear that had a symbol of a kin. Kin is the sun. You guys know what a medicine wheel is in Native American culture? But the Maya one has, it looks like 4 flower petals. And they would put those in their ears. They would put the piercings of bone, of jadeite, obsidian in different parts of their bodies. So they would look a little different than we look right now. Alright guys, ready to go in the jungle?
Yeah.
Let's get some cool air. Follow me guys. Look at this. Put your hand out. But don't throw this away. That's obsidian. You can show everybody else. I just found a little piece of what the Mayas use for cutting for tools. It's called obsidian. You guys know what that is? Want to see what it looks like? Our friend over here will show you. The other thing you have to remember when we look at these Mayan ruins is that imagine that this place was built by a culture of civilization that is Stone Age. They don't have any metal tools. So can you imagine people building all these pyramids with a stone hammer that isn't even from the stone because you have to import it because all you have is limestone? Each little piece of obsidian, like our friend is showing us, is imported from a different place. You have some from Central Mexico, from Guatemala, and this one specifically, because of the color, it's a little kind of not super clear. This is from the valley of Motagua in Guatemala. The same place where they get all the jade, or what they call jade, jadeite, serpentine, stuff like that. Now, why I really like to bring people over here, is it a little cooler?
Yeah.
Everybody doing okay? Is because what we have all around us. This is the semi-deciduous thorny forest. Is this breeze a little better?
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me if you want a breeze, if you want shade. Your tour guide does know how to change the weather. So. This is the semi-deciduous thorny forest. This is the correct type of jungle for this area in the world. But this is not the only jungle that the Mayas live in. You guys ever seen the movie Apocalypto? Steve Maya, Mel Gibson's movie? That movie is filmed in a place called Veracruz on the Gulf Coast of Mexico, where it's not properly Mayan territory, but most of the actors, the good actors, came from the Yucatan. The problem with that movie is that the lead actors were from like Mexico City and like New Mexico and Arizona, so their accent in Maya is like really, really bad. The jungle gets different in different areas. You have mountains, there's river valleys, rivers, coastal areas where Mayans lived. Now over here, you can even see cactus. There's cactus. These trees that are like red and shiny, these are copperwoods or tourist trees. Why are they called tourist trees? Because that's what your face is going to look like at the end of the day. They call it a tourist tree. Now, you guys want to bear with me? I like to do something. Just let's maintain total silence for like 10 seconds so you can hear maybe some of the insects, some of the birds that are around here. Let's try it. Wow, it's quiet today, isn't it? Is it weird when you get off the ship, all the noise and humming, and now it's just like super quiet? There's a bird. And a Ford F-150. There you go, guys. This copperwood tree is actually really important right now. Let's see if I can, can I get a leaf off it? No, it's another tree. I'll try later, guys. During the COVID pandemic and like the lockdowns, a lot of people, myself included, got COVID like really bad, and it took us a long time to recover, especially like the lungs and the respiratory functions. And traditionally that tree is used, the leaves, as an infusion to cure tosferine. Tosferine is like a chronic ailment that you get when you live in a house that has like a fireplace, and you're breathing like smoke all day and you get that cough. That's what they use it for. And right now they started using it again for people who are recovering from the COVID or the flu or things like that with their lungs. You can also cut down a branch of those and just put it in the ground in the dry season, and it grows into another tree. So let's say like where I live, instead of doing like a rock wall that you saw probably on the highway a lot, or a cinder block wall, or dead wood fence, I just planted those every 4 feet and then put some wire around it. You have to be careful if not it gets into the tree. So you have like living, organic and sustainable divisions in land that are endemic species and also attract like birds and bugs and all the good stuff, right? Now the other thing I want to show you over here on top of the lost temple of the moon goddess Ixchel and a representation of the corn god over here is, here in Mayapan we can see restored ruins, but we also have the opportunity to see what Mayan ruins look like when they're unrestored. Like if in 2023 you went into the jungle and tried to find like an ancient Mayan city that hasn't been discovered, there still are, what are they going to look like? Can anybody point one out? Yeah. You see over there in the corner, that pile of rocks? You see right here beside us, this pile of rocks? This is an ancient Mayan building. But you wouldn't notice it because the roots of the trees, you can see, are almost grabbing the stones. And then when they fall down because of wind or hurricanes, that's why the stones look like that. If you guys come here a little more with me, if you stand over here and look that way, you can still see that part of that building, there's still a wall, but it's in really bad shape. So that's what these buildings are going to look like. Later on, I'm going to trick you guys and I'll have you like 10 feet beside a 30-foot Mayan pyramid and you won't even know that it's there. But right now, guys, if anybody wants to go up, come down, you want to... There's a plant here in the Yucatan that's called chaya that we use to like make teas, agua fresca, scrambled eggs, and it's like a domesticated version of this, the wild chaya. You guys know what poison ivy is?
Mm-hmm.
And poison oak? Imagine those two had like a baby on a plutonium bed. This is what you get, chaya. If you get closer, you can see it has little spines. And that'll cause like volcano rash eruptions that will last like 3 or 4 months of misery. And
Need a volunteer.
yeah, volunteers.
Where's our sacrifice?
They will flower little white flowers,
Oh,
and
so much.
the fruits are going to be like mini watermelons. So anytime you can see what it kind of looks like a maple tree kind of crossed with the cannabis kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't touch it, okay, guys? You can see right over there all the needles. Very bad.